really signifies a major step toward actualizing county executive and all our partners' intent for Prince George's County to expand access to quality health care and excellent health outcomes for all of our citizens and residents in Prince George's County. We have a lot of important people here today. And as part of my job is to introduce them, because today I'm acting as your MC. So I hope I don't miss anybody, but if I do, please forgive me. I'm going to start off with my boss, the person who has kept us with our eyes right on the goal, and that is County Executive Rushern L. Baker III. Next to him is the Senate President, Mike Miller, who has been a stalwart supporter and financer of this project, and we thank you so much. We have our wonderful council chair, who is a tremendous partner, Derek Leon Davis. Dimension's CEO, who has kept his eyes on the prize as well, Neil Moore. Chairman of the Dimensions Board, Judge Nichols. CEO of the University of Maryland Medical System, Bob Krenzik. And our day-to-day University of Maryland Medical System partner, John Ashworth. So getting today has been just a tremendous journey. It started years and years ago, long before the RAND report in 2009. But in 2011, we signed that magnificent MOU with the University of Maryland Medical System, with the state of Maryland, Prince George's County, and you know what? We signed it with our community as well. And here we are today, on this day, the day after, the certificate of need was actually signed. I have to tell you, it's a wonderful day. It was supposed to be raining, but we got the sun. And that's because it's a new day in Prince George's County. I want to announce and recognize our elected officials who are here today. And if I miss anybody, as I said before, forgive me. We have Delegate Tawana Gaines, a member of the Dimensions Board. Delegate Barbara Frush, who is also a member of the Dimensions Board. Delegate Susie Proctor, a wonderful supporter. Delegate Ann Healy, who is here with us today. Delegate Angela Angel. And Delegate Jimmy Tarlow. And Diana Fennell. We have Senator Ramirez, who has just joined us. And from our county council, of course, we have our council chair. We have Council Member Mel Franklin. Council Member Todd Turner. Our partner, Vice Chair of the Council, Danielle Glaros. And I think I saw Council Member Obie Patterson here. There you go. We also have a boatload of the county executive's cabinet here with us today, starting with our CAO Nick Majette. I think we have all of our deputy chief administrative officers and assistant chief administrative officers. Can you raise your hands? And a number of cabinet folks, including our health department director, Pam Creekmer, Gloria Brown Burnett, our Director of Social Services. And if I've missed anybody, raise your hand so we know that you're there. And before we get on to our real speakers, I feel like I just need to say that these are the folks who made this possible, but there are a number of people who are making sure that this is getting done on a day-to-day basis. They're in the background, but they're making it happen. And one of those people is Bradford Seaman, who couldn't be with us today. Tom Himmler, whom all of you know, has been just absolutely critical to this process. Neil Moore, of course, and the board of Dimensions. Jeff Johnson, I don't know if Jeff is here, and Daryl Mealy. Kept it moving. And I have to say also, our health officer, deputy health officer, Pam Creekmer, Dr. Ernest Carter, have done tremendous work in the area of population health. And honestly and truly, Commissioner Moffitt credited them as part of the reason why we got that CON approved. And I want y'all to stand up and take a bow. So now I'm going to ask our Senate President, Mike Miller, to please bring us remarks.
Betty, thank you very much. Look, I'm so honored to be here. Betty mentioned the important people. The important people are the 900,000 people that we represent, aren't they? We have 1/6 of the state's population. 1/6 of the state's population. The county's has been great. It's going to be greater. But two of the people that are here that are going to help it be greater, we got to introduce all the health officers and stuff like that. But let me introduce the dean of the medical school, University of Maryland Medical School, Dean Reese, please. Thank you so much for being here. Good to have you here. And also who we have here, we have the head of surgery for the University of Maryland Medical System. And I was in Annapolis a couple years ago, and they brought in a face transplant person. This man oversaw a 24-hour face transplant. Dr. Steve Bartlett, the head of surgery, University of Maryland. Peter Angelo, surgeon. This is what we're bringing to Prince George's County. I'm a historian, and in 1790, our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., the capital of free rule, was carved from Prince George's County, okay? Carved from Prince George's County. It was a deal made between Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and Alexander Hamilton, by forgiving the war debts, getting away the western lands, but where's the capital of the United States going to be located? New York wanted it, Philadelphia wanted it, and the people in the South wanted it somewhere south of Mason-Dixon line. Well, they compromised, and it came from Prince George's County. But the people that had to sign off on that were the congressmen who were elected at large throughout the whole state. You talk about reapportionment, redistricting, those congressmen were elected throughout the whole state. So in punishing them for voting for it in Prince George's County and not Baltimore City, guess what? They all got voted out of office, okay? The Baltimore big shot said, look, the hell with them, we're getting rid of those guys. They're putting Prince George's County and this side of the state ahead of Baltimore City, okay? So my whole goal in life, I've lived in Prince George's County, I'm born here in Prince George's County, lived my life here, but also lived in Baltimore City. It's to bring the two economic engines together, bring them together. So just one state, it's one state. And this is the culmination of that, honestly and truly. We need Baltimore City, we need Prince George's County, we need Montgomery County, we need the whole state. It's people coming together, working together, and that guarantees success. And this is one successful operation because we waited a long time in Prince George's County for this to come true. We waited a long time to have a 4-star hotel. It's coming up right now in College Park. We waited a long time for the MGM. We had to wait till after Anne Arundel Live was done before we got MGM. We waited a long time to get a facility like the FBI here in Prince George's County, which we're going to get done this year too, right? The FBI is going to Prince George's County. But the creme de la creme, the best of all, is this University of Maryland Teaching Hospital, a shock trauma hospital located right here in Prince George's County. We are so very proud. Thank each and every one of you for making it happen. Thank the University of Maryland Medical System for picking on Prince George's County. Thank you for coming up with $200 million to help us make this happen. You know, and we thank all the representatives from the state of Maryland for their job in making this money, but also our great Prince George's County Council, thank you, and the leadership. None of this could have been done without the outstanding leadership of our county executive, Rashern Baker. A nice round of applause for Rashern Baker and the county council, please. This is a great day. Great day. A truly great day for Prince George's County. And the person that I'm going to introduce is also another true son of Prince George's County, a man who has promised to keep his remarks 2 minutes or less, something he's never done before in the history of his life. But we're going to see what he can do. I got my stopwatch on him right now. Derek Leon Davis, chairman of the Prince George's County Council. Please, thank you so much.
You don't set the bar low. If there's one thing you know about the Senate president, he doesn't set the bar low. He doesn't set it low. Isn't it a great day in Prince George's County? Another great day in Prince George's County. We've been waiting for this for about 50 years, it feels like. Senator Miller just gave you the history, so I will not unearth it again. But I do have to make sure that I give credit and kudos where credit and kudos are due, first and foremost, to a former chair of the county council and my colleague on the county council from 2011 to 2014 who helped us get to this day, and that's former council member, former council chair Ingrid Turner. Ingrid. Our former chair, Andrea Harrison, couldn't be with us here today. She had an appointment. She was chair after Ingrid, and subsequent to Andrea Harrison, our chairperson was Mel Franklin. None of them told me about the rigors of this job. But believe me, I learned, and I tell my colleagues that are here today, if you ever get this job, be prepared to sleep not. Nonetheless, and please give them a round of applause for being here with us. Todd Turner, Danielle Glaros, and Obie Patterson. You guys know, if you know me as the council member who represents this district, how much I love this opportunity. Senator Miller talked about the state of Maryland being one Maryland. We talk about this region, the Washington metropolitan region, and how we collectively with the Washington metropolitan region and the Baltimore metropolitan statistical area really make up one of the greatest places that you can live in this entire country. It really heartens me to have the opportunity right in the center of Prince George's County to build what is essentially a generational, transformational reality. When you look at this hospital, this regional medical center, you see the heart of Maryland beginning to pump very vibrantly. Think about it from the perspective of what it means to Prince Georgians and Southern Marylanders. It means a world-class, first state-of-the-art medical center where we can come and receive our services and not to go beyond our borders to do so. Do you understand what that means? It's a teaching facility that will provide new jobs and new opportunities right here in the center of the county for folks to become educated, to become doctors, to become all sorts of job opportunities and retail opportunities that will come from this reality. Do you understand what that means? I don't think you do yet. I don't think you see what's happening here in Prince George's County. In Prince George's County, right at 495, right at Largo Town Center Metro, right at Central Avenue, the geographic center where your heart stands in Prince George's County, we are about to pump the vitality throughout this region. I'm happy. I had to get it out. I just had to get it out. My staff and the senator worked hard to make sure that my comments weren't the 15 minutes that I was told that John Ashworth is going to be allotted. They gave me prepared remarks, and the senator admonished and made sure I'm going to be brief. So I'm going to bring the plane home. Here's the plane coming home as you see the visual image that John Ashworth will present to you when he has the opportunity to speak. I just want you to think about the helicopter. Right now, you don't know what that means, but when you see the helicopter, you will see the excitement that I really am trying to express. And what I want you to do, in the words of the late, great Wayne Curry, is go tell Lottie Dottie and everybody where Prince George's County is about to go. And if you ain't ready, you better ask somebody. The person that I'm going to bring up to talk to you, though, is what I would consider one of the most important cogs in that 50-year reality that we've tried to bridge from the medical system that we have currently to the medical system that we're going to have in the future. This guy, if there was ever a person who understood the objective of including the community, the objective of bringing a hospital system, the objective of keeping a hospital system running, it's the next guy that's going to speak. Neil Moore, who is the president of Dimensions Corporation, who has been running our hospital for the last several years. He is the person who, when all else fails, you like that nice bow tie, but his sleeves are always rolled up and his pants legs are ready, because it takes patchwork and bubble gum and everything else to keep a hospital running. So give him a huge round of applause and a blessed welcome as he comes to bring you to the next phase. Neil Moore.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Councilman Davis, for that wonderful introduction. As President and CEO of Dimensions Healthcare, I sincerely thank all those who were involved in the process in getting us to this milestone today. And that includes Maryland Healthcare Commission for their support in approving the Certificate of Need application, and the entire staff within the MHCC, the State of Maryland, Prince George's County government, the county executive and the county council, President Miller, University of Maryland Medical System, University System of Maryland, and Dimensions Healthcare System Board of Directors. I would be remiss if I did not mention one individual that worked within our organization that has tirelessly worked to get us to this point. And he's one of the unsung heroes in all of this. And yes, he's the guy that you don't hear much about, and that's Jeff Johnson. I know that this dream, which then became a vision, started way before my insertion as president and CEO 4.5 years ago. But my appointment was close to the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding, which was signed in 2011, when this partnership began initiating all the work that needed to be done in order to make us ready so that a CON can be approved. The overarching goal of improving health status of the residents and within Prince George's County and Southern Maryland region was most paramount. The approach we are taking was based on findings and conclusions reached by the University of Maryland School of Public Health Impact Study that recommended specific initiatives, which included improve access to community-based provided care, 2, to establish population health practices to manage patient health and reduce the cost of care, and 3, to develop an academic-affiliated new regional medical center to replace Prince George's Hospital Center. My job was to work with the University of Maryland to help start building clinical programs. We now have the University of Maryland physicians, part of this School of Medicine, within our emergency room. We have a new cardiac program, an orthopedic program, an intensivist program, all in collaboration with the University of Maryland, and yes, of course, the long-standing trauma program that we have at Prince George's Hospital. We improved our operations by renegotiating various contracts to get us ready, including one with one of our partners, and that is with SEIU. We implemented a multi-million-dollar emergency medical record system and benefited from the federal government meaningful use dollars. And perhaps most importantly, the county working with the county executive office and the county council to refinance the bonds, and that's just to name a few. Clearly, this transformation started already. Now it's time for us to move full throttle with this milestone. Exciting opportunities are before us, just before the horizon. And in partnership with the University of Maryland Medical System, we look forward with great anticipation and enthusiasm on our continued journey to providing the best healthcare system in Prince George's County in the Southern Maryland region. Thank you. And yes, once again, I would be remiss if I did not introduce the chair of the Board of Directors of Dimensions Healthcare System, C. Philip Nichols.
And I frankly thought he was going to say, hey, the guy that needs no introduction is going to come up here. I was trying to be as polite as I could. President of the Senate, Mike Miller, County Executive. And then I got into, I better do this alphabetically. So I got to deans, doctors, and delegates. Then I thought we ought to mention the council members and all the presidents here. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say all the staff people from our hospital system. Today, I'm pleased to stand here with my colleagues to help announce that a new University of Maryland Medical System Regional Medical Center will be built in Prince George's County. It has been a long time in coming. Some 5 years ago, we agreed to enter into negotiations with the university to do what has been approved yesterday. It has been a long, even difficult road for the board, whose members were resolute that we join the university system. We began in a state of turmoil, which almost derailed the events that we celebrate today. However, we stayed the course. In the mid-1960s, my predecessor as chairman of the board, the late Gladys Noon Spellman, was directed to find a way to partner with the University of Maryland. 5 decades later, it appears to have come to pass. Our county executive kick-started it again. Our supporters have been many. Those who put this venture in motion, especially Senate President Mike Miller, never wavered in their support for us. Nor did they expect any less from us. One day Mike called me and said, I need you to sign this by 2 o'clock this afternoon. And I said, Mike, I can sign it, but I got to check with about 18 people. He goes, why are you still talking to me? And he calls back and says, forget it, I found a better way. He really did. Neil Moore, our president and CEO, gets the lion's share of credit for overseeing the day-to-day activities and making those healthcare measurables, such as days of cash, which is at 51 today, I think, and started at 2, and the like, to the point so positive that we are where we are today. The board led the way every day, just like Rogers Rangers in the American Revolution, providing the guidance and leadership to our executive and healthcare providers. We reformed our way of doing business from the turmoil of the past to the triumph we see today, as we are on the verge of becoming the largest member of the university system. At times, it has been as stressful as it was rewarding. We made decisions that were business decisions that sometimes did not please everyone. Some argued with the decisions, some challenged the process, and some just called us names, such as thieves in the night. This unnecessary political grandstanding, which ignored the obvious, almost cost us the success we see today. But we stood firm. We found a way to save nearly $40 million with our new union contract, the last signing, and some $20 million as we transition the Laurel facility. The members of the board who hold elective public office, delegates Tawana Gaines, and Barbara Frush, along with Councilmember Andrea Harrison, deserve special credit for standing up. I'll ask them to stand up now. And doing the right thing when called upon. As Andrea said frequently when we had a bad day in the paper, well, welcome to my world. By the way, Andrea cast the deciding vote on getting this job done. You need to know that. We have all collectively laid out our good names and reputations. Fortunately, our county executive called our decisions bold and stood beside us. We will soon transition to an interim management board, March maybe, as I understand it, if not before. But we shall forever have the great sense of accomplishment as the ones who guided this great ship of healthcare with 181,000 patients every year to its dock with the university system. Thank you all very much. I will remember to introduce the next person, who is the Chief Executive and President of the University of Maryland Medical System, Bob Krenchik. Bob Krenchik is Bob is as much fun in a hardware store, because I met him there once, as he is doing this really big job. So, CEO Krenchik, please.
Thank you, Judge Nichols. It is a privilege to be here. This is exciting stuff, and your partner here at the University of Maryland Medical System is all in. So we think in many ways this is the dawn of a whole new era here in healthcare in Prince George's County, and we just are so excited to be your partner. And the milestone yesterday of the passage of the Certificate of Need application was quite gratifying to everyone here, I'm sure of that. And but one thing about the University of Maryland Medical System, we persevere, and we are not in the slightest way setbacks. We're used to them, but we knew we'd get through that. So. But this new facility will be operated by the University of Maryland Medical System. For those of you who don't know us, this is a big hospital system. We have 12 hospitals across the state and about 25,000 employees. And we have a great partner, our hospital system. It's the University of Maryland School of Medicine. And I'm going to ask Dean Reese to stand up once more here. Dr. Reese is my friend and colleague, and that medical school is a tremendous asset and will be as we go forward. And guys like Steve Bartlett here, the chief of surgery, are just unbelievable. So you'll get to know him. But anyhow, I think you all know this has been quite a journey just to get here, and I am so grateful for the time, the talent, and the commitment here of many people who helped us get this far. The teamwork here and the passion are just amazing, and we always look for that in a partner. But I want to send a few special thank yous. First to Senate President Miller. Trust me, we wouldn't be standing here today if Mike Miller hadn't stepped up and done what he does best. Mike, thank you. We're so proud of you. House Speaker Bush, of course, County Executive Baker, County Council Chairman Davis, Delegate Davis, and really all the members of the Prince George's delegation and the County Council. Thank you so much. A big thank you, shout out to Judge Nichols and his leadership in chairing the Dimensions Board. Neil Moore, thank you. Sherry Perkins, why don't you stand up, Sherry, for a second. Sherry's the Chief Operating Officer over at Dimensions, and she is a difference maker, so you'll get to know her over time. And then a thank you to the entire Dimensions Board and leadership team. But it's really not been an easy road. But I feel as though this is one thing about healthcare. It is a team sport, and you win or you fail, as a team. And I feel as though when I look around this room, I see people who really persevered together. And when the day is done, the Prince George's County community will be healthier because of your collective efforts and this wonderful spirit of cooperation. That's going to be so important. So we are just so proud, to be your partner, but there's a lot of work that, of course, remains in front of us. When you look at the University of Maryland medical system, the health and welfare of our communities means everything to us. It's just a top priority. And we've, of course, got to this milestone of the Certificate of Need approval by working together. But, when we come together, we have one main goal in mind, and to bring high quality, cost-effective health care to the people of the county and the surrounding region. That's the job we have. We're going to do it. And the goal will be, and this goal will constantly be our North Star here as we go forward. But I'm also pleased to say we're not coming from a cold start. We've got some things underway already that I think are exciting, and I'm happy to report that the partnership that exists today between the University of Maryland, we call it University of Maryland Medicine, which is our hospital system, and the School of Medicine. There's a lot of good things happening here already with Dimensions in Prince George's Hospital Center. You'll see already significant progress in trauma care, cardiac surgery, and emergency medicine. So we're on our way there. And we just, espouse the principle that it's just so important that the citizens of the county get the right care in the right place at the right time, and very, very importantly, close to home. We want the care in the county here. That's our job. To give you an example, I think, of what we can do, if you look at the cardiac surgery program over the last couple years, some folks from the university came down, particularly a cardiac surgeon named Dr. Jamie Brown, revitalized that program, has done 200 cardiac surgeries, just miraculous quality, and it's just just give you an example of the kinds of people and the partnership that we're going to bring. So let me conclude my remarks simply by saying that on behalf of the entire University of Maryland family, we pledge to the people of Prince George's County and the surrounding area to deliver the best that we have, both in optimal patient care as well as being a responsible steward of your resources here in the county. So let me introduce my friend and colleague, Mr. John Ashworth. He's the Senior Vice President of Network Development for the medical system, and he's going to share a little bit more with you about the vision for the new regional medical center, and then give you a little idea of the art of the possible here. Thank you.
What I'm going to do is a little bit one-sided, i.e. on this side. So for those of you who cannot see this side, you might want to move over this way a little bit. That's my first comment. My second comment is Bob, me, the dean, Dr. Bartlett. We roam around on a 24th floor up in Baltimore, and we look down on two stadiums. We're Redskins fans right now. Just in case you needed to know that. So that's part of the coming together of the Baltimore metropolitan area and the Washington metropolitan. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run through an animation for you all, and we're going to do it twice. And the first is I'm going to talk you through it a little bit, so it might be a little staggered for you. And the second is we'll run it through with a little bit of music, because that provides a little bit of rhythm to what it is we're talking about creating in this county. So I'm going to step over here. Can you all hear me? I can carry the mic. I got it. So I'll start over here. So if you could, we're going to start this animation. First thing you're going to see is a map here. I'm going to stop right at the end of the map. Right about there. Bob mentioned the University of Maryland Medical System. Right here is Largo, sitting kind of right in the middle of a lot of stuff going on. These are all the University of Maryland Medical System sites. And the reason why I wanted to stop here is not only to say is this becoming a part of the medical system overall and what we can bring? But also to say, remember when we're talking about this regional medical center, that it's not just this site right here. We're talking about building an ambulatory care system, primary care access, all of the things that are anchored by this regional medical center. So as we go through the animation, talking about the bricks and mortar that basically are going to be the regional medical center, keep this in the context of it being an anchor for an entire system of care, not only for the people of Prince George's County, but also for the people of the 3 Southern Maryland counties. So could you start? So the certificate of need yesterday, what did it approve? It basically was an approval of this building, which is the inpatient tower, along with some ambulatory services here and an ambulatory facility here. And in addition to that, obviously the building of a parking garage located on the site that we are sitting in right now. We're actually sitting right over here. That's Gold's Gym currently. And ultimately, coming around to this side, building a new emergency department, 45 bays, a new utility plant, operating rooms that basically are here, and you notice those 2 heliports sitting on the top of it to serve the 2nd biggest trauma center in the state of Maryland. So if you'll stop for a moment when you get to the front, if you would. Again, this is what the certificate of need was all about yesterday. Call it a $600 million project that basically gives us 200 plus beds, 8 operating rooms, 45 emergency bays. And I can keep going on, but that is what this is all about. This was built on the basis of bringing population back that is otherwise leaving the county. Right now, about 60% of the people going to get their inpatient care from the county leave the county to get it. The whole purpose of this is to bring those patients back, those individuals back to get their care, not just the inpatient care, but the ambulatory services that people are leaving the county for as well. So one of the things that the county executive, others challenged us with is, how many of those people is this facility bringing back? It is only, I'll use some numbers, about 22,000 inpatient admissions are served by Prince George's County residents outside of the county of Maryland, outside of the county, some bulk of it outside of Maryland. In this projection, we're talking about bringing back about 3,000 to 4,000 of those patients. What would happen if we were immensely successful? So the whole question would be, how do we accommodate that success? So if you could start again. The first thing you're going to see here in a minute is you're going to see our ability to expand the ambulatory building capacity. In addition to that, what you're going to see is, and this will probably come very quick, the building of a medical office building, and the potential to build another medical office building to accommodate what we believe will be more ambulatory practices. In addition to that, we sense that there's the potential for more inpatient capacity, which we have provided for. And if you have that inpatient capacity, then obviously you're going to have to deal with the potential for additional emergency department and operating room capacity. So ultimately, along with building the additional emergency department and ambulatory capacity, then we also have the potential for additional inpatient capacity on top of that. So you keep coming around. And over here is a big site that we have reserved off, Senator Miller, for our health sciences initiative. And that basically is where we're working right now with the University System of Maryland, talking about what are the health sciences issues that we can bring to this campus that complements what goes on to this campus. I should say that all of this is what the future is about for us. Obviously, we just took a breath getting the certificate of need done. But what we're really talking about is a vision that basically results in this kind of effort. So this is what we're all about. We started last Wednesday embarking on all of the issues of taking us from, we got the CON approved, The project teams are underway to build us towards getting into this new facility with a new culture of accountability, high quality, excellent care, and all of the surrounding primary and ambulatory care that's necessary to give the people of Prince George's County what we have been wanting to bring for years. So that's it. Thank you very much. The helicopters. The finest state EMS and trauma system in the world. And this is the second biggest trauma center in this state. Well, I should say by far. Shock trauma is about 8,000 admissions. Here's about 4,000. The next one is about 500 to 700. So that gives you some idea of the size. Thank you all. She's going to play it one more time with the music.
In case you miss anything, please pay attention. You're doing well.
So now it's my pleasure to introduce your county executive, Rashern Baker.
I don't know why, but I could like watch that all the time. Wasn't that great? That great? And just think about it. Not only will you have a regional medical center, but surrounding the development of the mall that you sit in right here will be totally different. Mixed use housing right here. And to make sure that it's downtown Largo, make sure that it's downtown Largo, we're moving the CAB right across the street. And other buildings, so that you now have the critical mass right here in the center of Prince George's County. It is indeed a great day in Prince George's County. I don't know if Senator Miller had to leave. He's right there. He's right there. I know he... I love him. Can we give him another round of applause? And I mean it. There were times when we thought we weren't going to have the funding to make this happen. He got it for us. There were those who told us we weren't going to get the CON. He got it for us. And Judge Nichols, he also called me and he said, get it done. Be a leader. But we couldn't have gotten it done without him. My job really is to thank people. I want to thank the O'Malley and Brown administration for starting all this. Can we give them a round of applause? Ingrid Turner, if you could stand up again, can we give her a round of applause to start it off? Andrea Harrison, can you stand up? Thank you for all that you've done. The chair in this. Certainly we couldn't have gotten here, given the situation we're in the county, had this gentleman not stepped up and done a phenomenal job to not just run a hospital, but to put the financial system in order and to give the confidence back so that when the county gave its money and the state gave its money, they knew it was going to be used right. Thank you, Neil Moore. Please stand up. Now, I know Judge Nichols and the board thought, man, this was the wrong time to be on the board. But they have done a phenomenal job, and it was a difficult job. They made tough decisions in the best interests of the citizens of Prince George's County and its state, and they did a great job. If the board could please stand up and give them a round of applause. Bob and John and the UMS team, this has been a great time for us to get to know each other. It's been a long time coming. I can remember, when I was in the House of Delegates, and the chairman of Appropriation, Pete Rawlins, was also trying at that time to help us figure out how to deal with the hospital situation. And he brought UMS in and he said, you guys need to go down there and start working with them. That was in 1994, right, Barbara? And who knew years later that this would happen? Thank you for your partnership. Thank you for what you're going to do in the county. Thank you for this great facility. And the people who work with me, which is an easy task. I am a really nice guy. I don't demand a whole bunch. I'm lovable. And they would say that if you asked them in private. But I certainly saw my chief of staff running around. Where's Glenda Wilson? Give her a round of applause. I know she would introduce. And these next three people, Betty Francis loves this job that she has. She's done a terrific job. Betty Hager Francis, stand up, please. Where's Tom? Tom, can you come on in here? He don't like to be in the limelight. He thinks I'm going to ask him for a check. Tom Himmler, our DCO, he was in those negotiations. I certainly want to thank the council, and I seriously mean this. This could not have been done without the county council and the chairs of the council, every last one of them. These are not easy decisions. They were difficult decisions, but they understood the magnitude of what this takes place. And years from now, there are going to be people who walk in this hospital who won't remember any of our names, but will benefit for the work and sacrifice that you did. Let's give them a round of applause. And finally, for somebody who's not here, and there's probably a reason, I met this guy almost 35 years ago. Matter of fact, 35 years ago, when we were pledging a fraternity together. And I know he wished I had never pledged with him, because every time since then that I've had major crisis, I've asked him to step in. And the story goes, and I told this the other day because it's true. I had been campaigning, Derek, we were going to finally come up with a solution to the hospital. And during one of those debates, a person who I was running against said, I am sick and tired of him talking about they're going to do something about the hospital. It's been 16 years, nothing's been done. Why does he think he's going to get it done? And I said, in the first year of my administration, we're going to have an agreement. And then immediately after I won, I called up Brad Seaman and I said, Brad, I just promised we're going to have an agreement in the first year. Could you get started working on this during the interim before I take over? And he said, what again? I said, you know, that hospital thing. He said, I don't know. I said, well, figure it out. Make it happen. And he did. Working with the county council, within the first 6 months, we had an MOU signed with the state, the county council, the county executive, Dimensions, to start this process. 6 months. And I went back to him, and I think he expected me to say, thank you, Brad, for doing a great job. And I said, if you were going to do it in 6 months, I could have used that in the campaign. Can we give Brad Seaman a round of applause for the work that he's done on here? And finally, before I sit down, I didn't think about this until my oldest daughter walked in the room, who's sitting right here. Very beautiful, too. Hi, Asia. Isn't she? I thought about this as she walked in the room, and I thought about almost 25 years ago. 25 years ago, my wife and I were here in Cheverly, and our second child was about to be born. And being the person that I am, I had mapped out, at least my second thought, scratch that, my wife had mapped out our way to the hospital. And the hospital was in DC. Here we are, a stone's throw away. We could have walked to Prince George's Hospital, could have walked there. And we mapped out a way to go to DC to have our child born. Also being the person that I am, because I am always late, my baby decided she couldn't wait. And she came, my wife said, we ain't gonna make it to the hospital. I said, sweetie, we gonna make it, because I got a map, and I know what I'm doing here. And she said, go to Prince George's Hospital. And I said, nope, I got it, we're going. I got on the highway, she came. She was delivered on 50 by her daddy. I say that story because I don't want anybody else to ever try and practice medicine without a license. And more importantly, I don't want anybody ever in Prince George's County and in this southern region to think that they have to go elsewhere for quality health care. I don't ever want that to happen. I don't want it to be a thought. I want the thought to be for those who currently are going elsewhere to come here. I want the thought to be for people in DC and Virginia to try and map a way right here to downtown Largo to make sure they get the quality health care that we're going to deliver. That is what it's about. That is keeping the people of this county, of this state first. And that is what you have done today. Thank you.